friends. For today's video, I wanted to give you a few suggestions and ideas for this coming Labor Day. Unfortunately, I think this time last year we were hoping we were going to be celebrating our last holidays during the COVID pandemic, but due to the Delta variant, we're kind of doing it again, unfortunately. For those who want to be mindful but still be able to celebrate, here are 10 ideas for you. Cooking out is always a great option. We actually have a new yard. You can kind of see it in the background a little bit. So we've actually been cooking out a lot this summer at our new place. It's always a great idea because people can stay social distanced. You're outside, which is more ventilated air, obviously. So that's always a great idea when you are trying to keep COVID in mind. If cooking out really isn't your thing, you can also do a picnic. You can either do it in your backyard or go to a local park, do something easy like sandwiches and a few drinks that you can throw together, and you can have that done in no time at all, and just celebrate the day in the sun. If cooking out really isn't your thing, try consider going to a museum or conservatory or other nonprofit. Unfortunately, right now, a lot of nonprofits are dealing with the effects of COVID still. One of our local museums that I volunteer at, unfortunately, said that they probably will not be back to full staff or full pre-COVID status for 3 more years. That's insane. So local nonprofits, those nonprofits, museums, and businesses are all a part of our local community. So try to give back to them when you can, and this could be the ample time to do so. Swimming is my next idea. It's one of my favorite things. Now make sure you pay attention to your local CDC guidelines and what your local government is saying as well before swimming, because maybe swimming in a local pool may not be an option for you because they might be shut down, or maybe even if they are open, it may not be something you want to risk. So if you are privileged enough to have a pool in your backyard, unfortunately we are not. I wish we were. I love swimming. You can always have one last swim before the air gets to cool, and unfortunately kind of have to shut the swimming pool down for the season. So definitely get out there, and obviously that is a good one to combine with a cookout or a little picnic as well. While I love swimming, I definitely don't like camping, but that is our next idea coming up, is camping or hiking, going out for the weekend. If you are privileged enough to have the entire weekend off, or unfortunately maybe you are still unemployed because of COVID, use this weekend as a chance to actually go into the mountains, go into the forest, get back to nature, do that whole fun thing. Go camping, you can go all 9 yards and actually go and rent a tent, maybe rent a cabin for the weekend. If you don't want to go that far, again, use your backyard, put a tent out there, and actually just sleep amongst the stars before it starts to cool off again towards the end of the season. And again, that's also a good one that you can combine with previous ideas. Have a cookout, have a picnic. Maybe if the opportunity arises, maybe there's a campsite where you can actually swim. Maybe there's not as many people, so it's not as much of a COVID threat. The next idea I love is getting ready for fall. I love the fall season and spring. Not the biggest fan of winter, though decorations for winter is pretty fun. But I love like cooler weather, so fall is a big one for me. If you are a huge fan of like harvest festivals, decorating your home for fall, this is a perfect time to get started on that. If you have the weekend off, consider going outside, decorating your front porch. Maybe planting some late fall flowers is also a good option. Also bring it inwards. Decorate your mantles, staircases, dining area. Kind of just getting started for fall and entering into this new phase of our seasonal lives. When is the last time you went to a movie? With things like Netflix and streaming services now, a lot of us haven't really went out to the movies. Again, this is another one you might have to check with local guidelines to see if movie theaters are open in your area. Again, if they are and that's not the direction you want to go, consider this HGTV idea that I'll link in the description box below. It's all about putting a sheet in your backyard and projecting a movie like a drive-in movie theater. And that's also a good option as well. If you actually have a drive-in movie theater in your area, I know they're not that common anymore, but if you can find one, that is always a great option to see a movie in just a different setting than your home and what you've become accustomed to over the past 2 years. Good or bad, virtual events are still very much a thing. For us introverts, that's actually a really great thing, especially if they keep going forward even past COVID and the pandemic. But check out some virtual events. The one big bonus about a virtual event is they don't necessarily have to be local. You can actually check out events that are local in a small area that you are not from. So you may find bands or other artists that you absolutely enjoy who aren't as well known but are a major part of other communities that you may have not have ever had the chance to visit. Are sports more up your alley? Then the next idea might be great for you. If you like football, basketball, street hockey, any of those things, this is a perfect time to get some of those last sports games in before the season comes to a close. Obviously, there are some big games coming up. You can check those out and make a big family event out of it, or invite over a few friends that have also been vaccinated to play the sport with you, or just watch a game. Make a few snacks. It doesn't have to be a very big deal. This weekend can be a fun time for those last minute sports activities, so definitely get out there and play one more round before the end of the season. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of nonprofits in your local museums and community locations of cultural focus, unfortunately, are dealing with a lot because of COVID. A lot of them are running out of funding, but helping those local nonprofits isn't just about giving them funds. Consider this weekend, Labor Day weekend, a lot of your main staff has that time off. So they're really leaning on volunteers. So if there's a local nonprofit that really does something that you find meaningful, for me it's usually the arts or LGBT related causes or fashion. See if they need some help. You may not be able to donate money, but you can certainly donate your time. Consider doing that this Labor Day weekend, so that you can help a local nonprofit stay active and hopefully carry themselves through the rest of this pandemic. Of course, our last idea is ordering food in. Unfortunately, if you don't want to cook this holiday season, trust me, I totally understand. But we also have all become accustomed to your Uber Eats and your other food delivery services during this time. They have been a great help, especially with local communities. It gives local people a chance to make some money that they may not be earning because they're unemployed. It also, of course, helps local restaurants, especially during the time when we weren't allowed visiting them at all. So if you don't want to go out because maybe you're trying to be mindful of COVID, but you still don't really want to cook, consider ordering in with one of these delivery service apps. That way you can help support your local community while not needing to cook dinner, which is always a great bonus. These are just 10 ideas, and I hope they kind of inspire you to create ideas or memories of your own. Obviously, right now we shouldn't be judgmental of the way each of us are dealing with this pandemic that has stretched on for so long. So try your best to be considerate of other people, stay safe, do what you need to do to survive, whether that is getting vaccinated, if that's the route you want to take, wearing masks, social distancing. Don't feel you need to change what makes you feel safe for others. So maybe avoiding this holiday altogether is totally up your alley. That's perfectly fine. Don't feel judged. Don't feel pressured to do something. But if you do, these were 10 ideas that can kind of go down this route of being safer if you do choose to celebrate this Labor Day. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!